So now it's time to start with the JavaScript part for this particular vowel checker application. So for that we need to use the script.js file. Inside of that file we need to first create the callback, which is the function. Inside the button we have actually specified the check vowel function. So we need to create this function inside the script.js. So here I will be writing the function, then I'm going to paste the name of the check vowel function. Instead of that, first we need to get the reference to the text area. So I will be here using the const, and it is going to be like text and is equal to, and then here we need to use the document dot get element by id, because we have specified the id, and then we want to get the value, because if we just simply didn't use here a value, then we are getting the tag name. So here I'm going to specify the id. So the id of the text area is input text. Okay, so we are getting the id, and after that, once we get the id, we want to create a one function. So here outside of this particular check vowel function, we need to create a function which is vowel. So this function will check whether the vowel is existed or not, because we are going to take the value of this entire, like this vowel checker here is this text area, as treating this entire value as an array. So that is the reason we are going to pass this array to this particular function, and then this function will check if there is a vowel existed in that array. So if it existed, then it is going to return true. If it is not existed, that is going to return false. Okay, so here when you create the variable which is like I will say it here const vowels is equal to, and then here I am going to use the angular brackets. Then we need to specify the vowels, which is first a, then to specify the ae, then here I'm going to specify the I, and then O, and then to specify here u. So these are the vowels that we need to use. Then we are going to use here a return vowels dot, and then we need to use here the includes. So this will be used to check whether the given element is existed inside the array or not. If it existed, it is going to return true. If it is not existed, it is not going to return anything, means it is going to return the false. So this function is going to accept a parameter which is char, or you can just simply, because we are going to pass the this array elements, means these text elements one by one, means we are going to pass the elements character by character by using the for loop. Once I code this entire, then it will become more clear to you. So we are going to pass here as a parameter char. Okay, now coming back to the check vowel function, here we need to add some more code. So the first thing is we need to here create the vowel count. So this vowel count variable is going to be used to display the result inside this particular result element. So here we need to create the vowel count variable. So I'm going to use here const, and this is actually going to be like vowel count. Okay, so this will be the vowel count, and inside of that we are going to initialize it with the value which is 0, because at the initial we want to display a 0. Okay, means we want to initialize the value to 0. Then we need to convert this text to lowercase, because if we enter here like this one, so we want to convert it into smaller one. Okay, so that is the reason we need to here use the text is equal to, so we are actually going to initialize the text with the text to lower case. So this will be the string handling function, which is a JavaScript function which is used to convert the text to lowercase. And after that we need to here use the for loop. So here I will be using the for loop, because we are going to pass the entire text character by character to the application. Like if we enter here like this particular text, okay, so we are going to pass this entire text character by character to this particular function. So here inside of the for loop, first we need to create a variable. So it is going to be the let, because the value of the counter will be updated many times. That is the reason. So let I is equal to 0. Then we need to actually use here a condition. So how many times we want to execute a loop? So according to the length of the character, means the value that is entered inside this text area. So according to the length of the text area, we want to run the loop. So this is like, here we need, doesn't make any typo, which is like length. Then we need to terminate that, and then we need to increment the counter variable value. After that we need to come back to the inside of the loop. Here we need to create the variable. So it is going to like let char is equal to, so then we are going to use here text dot char at. Okay, so it's going to initialize to this char variable, means whatever we are actually passing according to index value. So if it is right now it is 0, so whatever value at present at the 0 index will be initialized to this char variable. Alright, so that is what this particular lines of the code does. It's actually taking the value from this text char at. So whatever is 0, so right now if it is 1, so it is going to display this f. If it is 2, then it is going to pass the d to this char variable, means it is going to actually initialize this d to this particular char variable. Okay, on the third time when the loop runs. Okay, then to here use the if condition, and inside of that we need to pass the is vowel, which is a function that we have created already. Inside of that we need to pass the char, and then we need to pass the vowel count. If we found a vowel, means if it returns true, then we want to increment the vowel counter variable value, because we have found a vowel. If we didn't find a vowel, we don't want to do nothing. Okay, after that, once we run the loop according to the length of this particular text area content, then we want to set the data to the result element. So for that we need to first get the reference to the result element, which is const result is equal to, and then here we need to use the document dot get element by id, and then we need to actually get the result. Now right now at this point of time we are not going to use the dot value, because we want to set the data to the result element. So first I'm going to checking whether the id is specified. Yes, the id of the paragraph element is result. Okay, so I have here added the result. After that we need to update its text content, so it is like result dot text content. We want to update its text content is equal to, so here we need to craft a message like total vowels, then colon, then space, and then we need to add the value, which is vowel count. So now the complete code for this vowel checker is defined. So now if I enter here text line, this is the second project, click on count vowels, then you can see nothing is working here. So there is a problem inside the project. So if I click on the browser and if I click on the F12 key, so if I open the console, right now you can see we have these issues: uncode type error, assignment to a constant variable. So at line number 6, so here we are actually assigning a constant variable again. So this is actually creating the problem, because we are actually assigning the values to the constant variables. Alright, so that is the reason. So here we need to convert this const variable to let, and also this vowel count variable will be updated many times, because this loop will execute in maybe more than 7 to 8 times. So the value of this particular variable will be updated. So here I also need to use the let. Okay, and let's save it and check whether the values are working. So if I decrease the size of the Visual Studio Code window, and if I enter here like zoom out little bit, and if I enter here like some text values, if I refresh it, okay, so if I enter here like this is, and click on, and still it is not working here. I go to console here and still, so uncode type error, char at is not defined, is not a function. Okay, so here is a problem. So actually it is char at, so I have here added a chart at, so it is like char at. Control save it, and if I actually decrease the console window, click on it, and if I just refresh it once more, here if I enter like this is the, okay, so this is the text. If I click on, now you can see it's actually showing the total vowels. Okay, now if I enter here something more, if I click on count vowels, now you can see it's going to display 5 vowels. So let's check. So this is a vowel which is 1, 2, so this is the third vowel, this is the fourth vowel, and this is the fifth vowel. So our application is working fine. The only difference, we need to actually create the type of the variable, which is we need to create it let, because the values of these will be updated many times, because the value of this vowel count will be updated here, and also we are actually reinitializing this text variable here. Okay, so now the things are working perfectly fine. So that's it for this particular module. If you like this module, then please leave a review, because your review helps me to reach more students, and also it will motivates me to create more awesome courses. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture. Thank you very much.